Hey, what's going on, guys? Petey here. So today we're going to be talking about the light tank versus the AT gun versus the recon jeep. So all three of these units are entry-level units that get a lot of bonuses from their class tech, respective class tech, and we're going to see which one's the best. So starting off, we're going to go into light tank. Now I'm just going to show you guys the two officers that are affiliated to give you bonuses for light tanks. There they are, and now we're going to move into the stats. So we can see the Panzer, it gets 1.32 speed. So these speeds, it's not map specific, but you just compare them against each other. Like on some maps, the Panzers have 6 speed, but just on the specific map I took this data from, that's what it is with the bonuses. And then compare them across just this video, okay? And then that should match up on every other map. But anyways, we can see here you get a bunch of infantry damage, bunch of vehicle damage, about half of that in armor, and then about 550 building, and then you're running 6900 HP without leveling this up at all. It's level 1 out of 45, so pretty strong. And then looking at the middle again, you get plus 158 attack versus rockets, M101s, M40s, AA guns, whirlies. So you only really need to be afraid of 101s and AA guns. AA guns do shred tanks really well. Like Flak 36 are just gross against them. So that is something you need to watch out for. You get a little bit of attack range that doesn't really help. And then plus 700 defense versus rockets, M101s and M40s, which against M101s it helps out a lot, but the other ones you're going to be pretty dead pretty quick. So the Panzer tank, it's made at Munitions Factory level 3, as we know, and then with tanker bonuses you get minus 50% to armament. So the cost for munitions on the left, it'll take 2 minutes 42 seconds to make munitions, and then 225 fortune and 108 iron per light tank. So you can make a ton of these in the beginning of the field, roll around with them, not too many issues. So yeah, overall I think this guy is a very solid unit. I've always used light tanks, but even if I'm not tanker, but we'll see if there's anything better. So next we're moving on to the recon jeep. So with the recon jeep, this thing is made at Munition Factory level 2. You actually start with like 5 of them, I think, as you do quests, and a lot of people have been saying these are good. So we'll see here. So we're going to look at the officers real quick that give you bonuses. And then we're looking at the recon jeep here. So we could see speed 1.94. It's pretty fast. You get an attack versus commandos, plus 300 attack versus AT guns, and then defense versus bombers. You aren't going to last very long with these if you face bombers, so it's not too important. But you get a sight bonus of 462. It's pretty crazy, honestly. Looking at the stats on the right, infantry, you get 1170 versus infantry, 488 versus vehicle, 210 versus armor, and 475 versus building, with 4471 HP. So honestly, the only thing that shocks me here is the building damage. It's actually quite a bit for the Jeep. I thought it'd be a lot less. Everything else is pretty mediocre. Like if you run into light tanks, you're gonna die. If you run into howitzers, you're gonna die. The only thing you're really good at is killing infantry, which I guess AT guns, and you get that bonus attack versus AT guns as well. So Jeeps are the counter to AT guns, but I don't think that's the most common unit. I think light tanks are a lot more common. But anyways, to create it, you get it at, like I said, Munitions Factory level 2. It takes a minute, 21 seconds. You get 150 fortune and 72 steel to make them. So pretty interesting. I'm going to hold my comments till the end. So finally, we have the M101 howitzer. Or sorry, the M1 anti-tank gun. So I'm going to show the guys on screen, the officers that you can get. And now we're looking at the stats. So the speed on this is significantly slower than the other two units, even with the rapid transport that you get through Battlefield Tech. You do get a plus 20% attack range, 216 total, which makes it really easy to kill Waffen tanks, since they can't see you past 180, at least on some maps. And then you get a plus 500 defense versus tanks. This kind of balances it out because you're running so low. So the anti-tank gun is actually an infantry defense unit, and we saw from light tanks that they actually smoke infantry. Like, what is their damage on infantry? Let me double check. 935. So, I mean, you can see here you got 2300 versus armor, and then you do get a defense bonus versus tanks, but still, like, the defense, I don't know, like, still you might not win the fight. You know, if it's 20 light tanks versus 20 anti-tank guns, I think you'd probably win that fight. But I don't know. I was sitting here kind of thinking about it before I made this video, and I really am not sure. Maybe I'll collect my thoughts as we keep going through it. But you don't have that much versus infantry, nothing versus vehicle, 2300 versus armor, and then 210 versus building, 5300 HP. So that versus armor is very big. You get the defense versus tanks, 700 defense. Looking at the cost for munitions, 2 minutes 42 seconds to make one, 271 fortune, 130 iron. So very cheap, and you can upgrade these guys quick. So I think it just comes down to how you're gonna play. Because if I were to make these anti-tank guns, basically I would have to run Stugs too, and then I would want to fly everybody around. So I would either wait until I had gigs to push somebody, or I would make the level 7 munition factory transports and load everything up in there. And then at that point, maybe push somebody's city with Stugs and use the gigs to cover the turrets, or maybe have a couple light tanks to cover turrets, and then have the anti-tank guns just waiting in case light tanks come out, and then shred them up like from a tree line. That's typically the only way I could see it being good, and it would be good if you do it like that. But I don't know. It's such an interesting topic, and I know a lot of you guys are on all three of these. There's a lot of guys that just talk about, oh yeah, recon jeeps are solid, anti-tank gun is the best, oh light tanks all the way. So it's very hard, and I could see the dilemma. I think in situations anti-tank guns are the best, but I think overall for trying to move past early field, you kind of want to just run light tanks. Like, they're very fast, very capable. You don't even need Stugs to help you kill a city. They help, but you really don't if you get enough of them. They're very good at taking out RSS and things like that, and they're just fast. Like, they're just a fast unit to help you capture stuff very quickly, and then move on to M40s or airmen like bombers, or what's the other one? Oh, or Tiger tanks. So yeah, I'll let you guys decide for yourself, but I think that the light tanks reign supreme here. The anti-tank guns will kill them in a 20v20, but not, I mean, that's just such a rare situation. You'd have to be dropped on, you'd have to be on defense. If you were attacking as light tanks, you had to jump on them and they popped out of an army camp, I think the light tanks would win that fight. But it's hard to say. So I've never seen the fight before. It'd be close. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I thought this was a pretty cool idea and thought I should make the video for you. So I appreciate you guys watching. It's been PD, and we'll catch you next time. PD out.